So, this is that my car at the time? Is that my old parking spot? So, I lived right here on Zenith at the time. I actually miss this house. I lived there. Tuco loved those woods back there. Tuco used to play all in those parks. We really miss that. Alright, so Tim Hortons is over here, way over there. Judge Lauren said he knew this street. I like Judge Lauren. Okay, later come to find out he found me guilty for a good reason. Alright? So he's like, yeah, I know the plateau. So Tim Hortons is all the way over here. I drove down, it's right there. Woke up, got a coffee from Tim's. Coming back home. Coming back home. Coming back home. Coming back home. Turn on satellite. Go in. Jalaise is right here waiting for me. Right? My house is right there. He's right here. So I turn the corner. I just pass him. I go in. He pulls me over. Now, I'm going to go into the transcripts here. He says the car's registered under my wife's name. I only met Jalaise once when he pulled me over for the dog infraction, alright? So, the car's registered in my wife's name. Plates are in my wife's name. I'm driving by. I'm going in this parking lot. This is where I live. Alright, he pulls me over. Boop, boop, boop. Stops me right here. Alright, I have actually pictures. I just got to find it. I figure it'd be easier just pull up satellite. Alright? Pulls me over there. Tells me my license is suspended. I'm going to pull up the transcripts for this guy with that, because that's another laugh. So he tells me, pulls me over because my license is suspended. Like, well, how'd you know my license wasn't suspended? And I'm trying to tell him that, but I'm like, well, how would you know my license was suspended? Like, you read the plates, like, you don't have my, how'd you know my license was suspended? Like, you just read my plate and, like, blah, 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 like, the cars, you know, and so, but my license wasn't suspended anyway, so I'm like, how do you even know my license plate number? Like, my license number, or, like, anything about my license? Like, the car is registered in my wife's name. I think I met you the last time he was this satellite is perfect. So, the last time he pulled me over for the dog offense, I was walking Tuco on this street, and he was right there waiting for me. That was in August 2018. I'm walking my dog on this side. He comes around here, and he pulls me over. And his witness mysteriously comes out of there and witnesses the whole thing. They both did this whole lie thing in court. So that's the August, and back here is the January 15th arrest. So when he first arrests me, he arrests me. So he pulls me over. He doesn't arrest me right away. So he's taking my car, right? So he's saying my license is suspended and he's going to compensate my car, and which is, if it was suspended, which is whack, because I live right here. I could just, like, you know, you could just give me a ticket and leave my car there. So he says my license is suspended, which it isn't, by the way, and he's taking my car. So I go in the house and I call the police on him, straight up. I go, like, this is harassment, like, from the dog incident. I go and I call the police on him, straight up. So I'm sitting on the balcony with 911. I'm calling the police on this little boy here who pulled me over, because he's part of this little group here, and he thinks he's some kind of man, and he thinks because he has a city vehicle with a city uniform on that he's entitled to do whatever the hell he wants. Why are we so wrong about that? yeah, pulls me over and says, yeah, taking the vehicle because my license is suspended. And he verified this. So he verified that my license is suspended. I have the court transcripts. He says, yeah, I verified it. I'm like, so I don't know how he verified, like, so there was testimony in court. I'll let you go over. But so what he's saying is that he was here. Actually, his testimony in court, I mean, he's coming from like 1,000 different directions. I actually think he said he was going this way, and then he turned. He said some crazy stuff. But yeah, and so yeah, he takes my keys. No, I don't give him the keys because, like, dude, you're not taking my car. Like, if you're gonna take my car, tow it. Like, I'll keep my keys. I don't have to give you my keys. My keys are mine. You can tow my car whichever way you please. It's not my. I'm not legally obligated to give you my car keys. Like, I'm just not. I'm sorry. I know my rights, and I didn't. So what I did is but it would damage the car if they towed it, the transmission, without the keys. So I went in and waited for the tow truck driver while I called 911 on this guy for harassment, called harassment charge. Alright, tow truck driver comes, he parks right here. And then about 20 minutes later, by then he calls backup. Alright, there's like, right now for a ticket, alright, there's like 5 guys, no police here. Alright, so tow truck driver comes, I come out, I give the tow truck driver the keys. I'm walking away. He says, I'd like to see you he says, I said I'd like to see you in a bar one day. Let's go back a second, alright? So in this house right here, a cop lived. His name was Antoine. Alright? A cop named Antoine lived. So it doesn't play a significance, but then it just kind of goes in to show the stalking level of these guys. The stalking level is just incredible. Stalkers. You're Illuminati stalkers. Alright? That's the only thing these guys are efficient at. Not at legal, not at anything. These guys are not smart. They're not creative. They are just efficient stalkers, sneaks, liars, and thieves. That's all they are. Accumulative. Alright? Don't think anything else. The devil doesn't exist. Yeah, so Antoine lived there. Alright? So give the tow truck driver comes, I give him the keys. He says I'll tell you what happened. I give the tow truck driver the keys, I walk away, and by then I said, remember, there was a bunch of other cops. There's 2 male cops and 2 female cops. So I said to one of the female cops, I'd like to see you in a bar one day. Alright? Other than on the street, you know. She was cute. I'd like to see you in a bar one day. Alright? Tells me I'm under arrest for intimidation. Alright? I didn't know. Like, I'd like to see you in a bar one day was intimidating. You know, I didn't know. So, his car is parked over here. Cuffs me. This is after I called 911 on him there, alright? And then, so I come out, give the keys, walking back, I'd like to see you in a bar, get arrested, walks me back here where his car is, and our both cars were, puts me in the back of the car, and then says to me, I'm arresting you for terrorism offenses, uttering terrorist threats, terrorist hoax. Dude, what the fuck are you fucking talking about? Terrorist hoax? Like, what the fuck? Now, why he said this was this. He said terrorist hoax because, remember, if you go back to that email I sent to CNN, now the terrorist hoax were dropped out of the charges, alright, because now they realize, okay, well, if you put terrorist hoax, then probably it's going to be like it's going to be a terrorism investigation, and then they'll get deep into this, and then it'll be real, and then you guys won't end up investigating yourself, and then you guys are just going to be retarded, so they end up dropping the terrorist hoax. So now, here we go. CNN News Ideas. Yeah, so if you look at this email that I sent to them in 2014 when all this was going down. Oh yeah, that's Justice Card Lawrence. Oh, that's a beauty. I want to show you guys that too. There's so much fun stuff in here. Let's get to the, okay, where can I find that? Let's go back here for a sec. Let's go here. Jill Dallas. Things we didn't go over. So remember, Jill Dallas is a marketing manager at CNN. So I think what they did is they kind of gave her that email and sent her. It's like, so her husband Brad Kelly, even more interesting. Here's what they did. Her husband Brad Kelly and Don Kelly, when I'm a stripper over in, I remember I'm telling you, over in Gatineau. We shot a pilot over in Gatineau called Man to Man. It was a stripper pilot there. I was in it. I'd like to show you the strip. We won't get into that. And Brad Kelly and Don were on the set of Man to Man, all right? So this is how they bring that familiarity, and that they call it family, all right? Your family. Family and thieves, all right? Family and thieving. All right, so where is it? One second. So I'm offline now. Just give it a second. I'm going to pause it out. Yeah, if you go back to that CNN email there, the first email to CNN, like they always do, my internet connection just, and it's Bell. Wait till, oh, but guys, there's this Bell story. Everyone's involved. You have to watch who you do your business with. You could be supporting terrorism through something as simple as consumerism. Believe it or not, nowadays, these companies are that involved, all right? Either for good or bad. Okay, so yeah, you'll go back to that email there, and you'll see that the first thing I mentioned is that these guys were terrorists, right? So for me, I was thinking like maybe domestic terrorists. Like I was thinking at the time, like there was Mo, there was Mladen Mo. Okay, so I didn't tell you guys about the trip to the Dominican that we had, where Golnusha's brother, we went for Derek's wedding. And Mladen Mo they're Persian, right? So the thing is with Persians is that Persians they don't consider themselves Arab, right? They're Persian. So you have to separate, and that's very distinct when you look at Arab people and you look at these groups. You have to look at tribalism, right? So, and you have to look at which groups are tight, and so don't think because your skin is one color that everyone within that groups are within the same tribe, right? Natives lived on this land forever with individual tribes, probably hundreds, probably thousands. All right, so tribalism is real. All right, so this is the email here. All right, and white supremacists working within our working with foreign terrorists within our borders. All right, that was the email to CNN. So first thing Jalay does when he puts me in the cop car is I'm charging you with terrorism. All right, why? Because I called them first. All right, remember the Maximus, the email, Alain Taillary, the connection to the RCMP. Remember Mandy Moore's brother, Jeff Allen? Mandy Moore is now a federal judge, right? She works at the federal court. That was her reward. So you see where these people are now, right? You see who your judges are, your police